He's a local lad. His name is Bournemouth. Can this table here start the clapping? And then come over to that table there. And then that table there. And then that table there. And clap and cheer and cheer. Come on, guys.
Hello, we've got a wrap up with Mike because this show is high tech. Look at this shit. We care about people's safety, so we got them out. Oh, Ben, help me out. Oh. Okay, I'll get Ben to do it. Round of applause for Ben, everyone. Feel free to
It looks like a really weird tampon.
Stop it, stop. Stop it.
Do you want to just hold it?
Yeah, I'll just hold it.
There you go.
Fine.
Yes, great message, ladies and gentlemen.
Good. Hello, can you all hear me okay? Look good? Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. Right. Hello, it's lovely to be here. My name's Graham. As Ben mentioned, I'm from Bournemouth. Hooray! We like Bournemouth, don't we? It's alright, isn't it? Yeah. It is a bit of an odd place. Before lockdown, I do comedy all over the UK. The way I describe it to people is it's a little bit like the last of the summer wine mixed with the only way is Essex. In that everyone's got a really bad fake tan and they're all really fucking old. That's about right, isn't it? BH actually stands for bougie or homeless, doesn't it? Good. But I'm recording this for a podcast, by the way, if you want to listen to it. It's called The Green Room. I haven't made it yet, but we'll see what happens. Everyone's doing a podcast now, so I thought I'd do that. Fuck it, what's it? I'm using a face mask on a microphone. I mean, what the... I'll tell you a bit about myself. I have a mild form of cerebral palsy, which does tend to surprise people because I got up here. So that's good. A lot of people just assume that I'm really drunk, which I am, to be fair, all the time. Fuck it. Do I want? Doesn't matter, does it? A lot of people pity me for having a disability, which I find strange. You should see the size of my benefits check. It's ridiculous, to be honest with you. Essentially, ladies and gentlemen, I'm to disability to what Google is to taxes, in the sense that if I could exploit the system, I'd fucking go it. I played a lot of rugby at school, because no one was allowed to tackle me. So I'd get the ball, run to the try line, 40, 45 minutes later, they'd kick the conversion, and there'd be no time left, and we'd win the game every week. I used to feel really insecure about it when I was a kid and stuff, right? My mum, she's a very straight-talking woman. She just sort of says what she thinks without any consideration for anyone's feelings. So for that reason, they tested a lot of my jokes out on her, right? Granted, this isn't a big joke. It doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. The joke is this. So there I was climbing this tree the other day, and my iPhone fell out of my pocket, and I was really worried I was going to lose it. Luckily, the apple never falls far from the tree. Welcome to a fucking show, proper joke. No, as I told you, it's a rubbish joke, it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant, right? All my mum took from this joke was, hang on a minute, in what world can you climb a tree? Thanks for that, thanks very much. Yeah, I used to feel really insecure about it. She just said this to me one day. She goes, so what? So, well, you've got a disability. Who cares? Make the most of it. Spaz it up a bit. Right? So the next time I was re-evaluated by the DWP, I was sat in a wheelchair dribbling, right? Because I'm pretty lucky, to be honest, because most people with cerebral palsy kind of sound like Sylvester Stallone on ketamine. Sorry, what did you say? What are you going to do? Punch a spastic? It's not going to happen. I say what I want, right? A lot of people recoil at the word spastic, by the way, as well, which I find odd. Because the full term I have is called spastic hemiplegic cerebral palsy, right? The word spastic simply refers to involuntary muscle spasms, so that's all it is, right? Turns out all the stick and all the bullying I got at school wasn't bullying at all, they were just well educated. So I'm single, obviously. However, if it wasn't for pity, I'd definitely still be a virgin. Hello. I mean, let's be honest, the only benefits I've got is none of my money is mine and I can park wherever the fuck I want. Like, that's pretty much it. By the way, my car's right outside if you're interested. No, I'm kidding. So, a lot of my mates, they love it. I love a drink, and my mates love a drink. They're all like lads, so like, lads, let's go and pull some pictures. Right? And I'm not really that guy, right? As I mentioned, I was a little bit insecure about stuff when I was a kid. But I realised when it comes to going out and maybe, obviously before lockdown and shit like that, but, you know, having a conversation with a woman and things like that, I realised that honesty is actually the best policy, right? So, you know, I'd walk up to a girl and say, "Good evening, Miss Graham, how's it going?" And she'd be like, "What's up with your leg?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I've got cerebral palsy." And she'd be like, "Oh, bless you, your life must be really hard." And I'm like, yeah. Oh, poor Graham. I think we should kiss now. Here's a napkin, sorry about that. I just had to convince someone that I needed more benefits, so yeah. I'm very method, where's the actor? Good, it was a joke about dribbling and being a method actor, it's fine, don't worry about it. I was trying to do some ad-libbing, it didn't work. Cool, so, right. But yeah, so the thing is though, the problem I have is that if girls just assumed that I was smashed, like we'd go home and then they'd have a terrible time because they thought I was smashed, so whatever. Yeah, that's fine. But now that they know that I have a disability and I'm not just really drunk, they assume for whatever reason that my sexual performance in terms of the scale is going to be quite low. Somewhere sort of down here, you know, pretty terrible, right? When actually, I'm quite good. Some might even say perfectly adequate, which is about here, right? It's not satisfied, of course, which is about here, but perfectly adequate. You know, I'll take that, I'm happy with that, right? So what tends to happen if I do have like a one-night stand or something like that, like they'll leave pleasantly surprised, and that's cool, right? But one of the symptoms of cerebral palsy is involuntary muscle spasms. So I don't tend to get this. What I get is I can't handle physical contact. Like someone will tap me on the shoulder and my arm will flinch like that, right? My mates always do it to me when I've got a pipe in my hand, which really pisses me off. However, this one particular occasion I was having the sex with the I was doing the sex stuff with a lady friend, or the kind of, you know, how's your daddy sort of stuff, right? It's not how's your daddy, is it? I messed that up, I didn't mean to say that. It was who's your daddy, is it? Fuck out. That's really weird, isn't it? Have some of that. How's your dad, by the way? I've not seen him in a while, maybe I should take him for a pint. Well, I was doing the sex with a friend, having a perfectly adequate evening, right? It's all going well. And I had an involuntary spasm in a very specific area, sort of around my penis, which essentially, ladies and gentlemen, turned me into a human vibrator. Took my sexual performance from, you know, perfectly adequate to, oh my god, somebody's skinning a cat in there. Oh wait, no, he's just smashing some pussy. That's probably my worst joke, but probably my favourite. She's like, oh my god, that was amazing, do that again. I'm like, I can't, it's involuntary, I've got no choice. I have to go back down to my normal level of adequacy. She left disappointed. And I'm not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen, it's the first time I felt genuinely insecure about who I was for a long time, right? Because I can say thank you. See, what did I tell you? It's not, okay, fine. So it's getting late. Who wants to be my cop down, lockdown friend? Did you just say yes?
Oh, yes.
Nice to know someone else in here doesn't have any standards. Right, good. What the fuck was I saying? Seriously, brain damage, no clue. Doing the set. Yes! Right, we're back. Right, I consider myself to be very lucky to be where I am, to be who I am today. I'm 29 years and 483 days old. 30. I was born in 1990. I was born at 27 weeks, which back in 1990 was the cut-off point for abortion. So my mum slapped that up. Dark. So yeah, so I was born at 27 weeks, and I weighed £2.9 when I was born. Right, it's crazy. Which, to give you a bit of perspective, is about the standard weight of a bag of sugar. Yeah. Doctors didn't think I would survive, much less become this handsome physical specimen I am today. Right? It must have been all the rugby. And they thought I was genuinely going to be this sort of medical miracle, with all these national newspapers, medical journals, all that sort of stuff, right? Now what are the chances? Some little prick, born 3 days after me, £1.9! I thought £1 lighter this little bastard is, right? Now all of a sudden he's the medical miracle in all the national newspapers and medical journals. I mean, he's dead now, but the point is... It's stolen my thunder. It's not fair, is it? Millennials will do anything to get fucking famous. It's been really fun. I've really enjoyed this. It's been, honestly, it's been just crazy. I had to go back to my day job because I can't do comedy and stuff. Working for a supermarket. I can't really tell you who I work for legal reasons, because they tried to sue me twice for doing self-comedy. Let's just put it this way. They took me to court. The judge threw it out for being a frivolous lawsuit. I then countersued them for suing me frivolously, which in itself is an incredibly frivolous lawsuit. I just enjoy irony, right? So, I won as well, which is great. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a massive settlement, but you know, every little helps. I can't believe that gets an applause, mate. So I worked for a supermarket. I used to work on the tills for a long time, but I hated it. Like, I used to have this girlfriend that was into it, like some sort of kink, like some sort of Tesco fetish. It was really bizarre. She'd be like, "Oh yeah, beat for me, Graham." I was like, "What the fuck are you on about?" You know, I did the classic move, accidentally slipped in the wrong hole once, and she was like, "Unexpected item in the bag!" I'm trying to be a little bit more mature, though, right? Because you know, I'm 29 and 483 days old, and because all my friends have got kids and stuff now, and I'm not sure if I'm really ready for that. Although I have identified the type of parent that I want to be if and when I do have children, right? Working in a supermarket, so what you like about it, it is great for sort of personal observations of parenting, right? You may have seen. Anyone got young kids, like they still have to put them in a trolley, maybe 18 months, something like that, toddlers, yeah? Give us a grumble, I suppose, because you're probably all miserable. Oh, good, anyone got kids at all in the room?
Yeah.
Oh, literally the youngest looking guy in the entire... Right, how old are your kids, if you don't mind my asking?
4 and 6.
Okay, cool. So, when they were kicking off in the supermarket, what did you do?
Usually, I've got this thing where I kick off worse, and it makes them look at me like I'm really strange, and it stops the whole situation. Okay,
yeah, that's kind of fucked up my joke.
Yeah. Sorry. That's
okay. For normal people, there's normally there's two techniques, right? I mean, that is it. I'll go with that. That's solid technique. I like that. Match the tantrum. I like that. Okay. So, there's two main techniques that I've noticed, right? One is the parents. I don't understand how they do this. It's incredible willpower, and I salute them. Right? They ignore their child the entire way around. is kicking off the whole time and they just carry on the shopping. It's incredible to see. Because if it was me, I'd want to kick it in the face. And I'd have to put it on the floor because I can't. Which just draws attention to it, and it's just not it's not a good look, is it? So, and then the other one, which I really don't understand, it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. If you've seen this, is the ones that they have a pre-arranged agreement with their child that they will behave themselves on the basis they'll get sweets at the end. Yeah, ever seen it? Sometimes they'll even kneel down to their child in the aisle, right? They'll do this where they're like, do you not remember? If you're a good child. I've got to keep it gender neutral, obviously, for the 2020. It's probably got like a precocious name like T-Fowl because they're raising it pansexual as well. So they kneel down to their child and they say, do you not remember, if you're a good child, you get some sweets at the end. Of course it doesn't remember, it's 2 years old, it's been distracted by a yellow sticker because it's probably on the spectrum, which of course everyone is because that's how a spectrum works, by the way. One end being doesn't have autism, the other end being really hates climate change. That's how that works, right? Yeah, there's two ends to a spectrum, that was the point. Good. Right, so they're distracted, right? Now, one of the best things I think I've ever seen. So I was serving a mum with 2 kids at my till, and the till opposite me was also serving a mum with 2 kids, and they were polar opposites, right? My customers' kids are amazing, they're quiet, even trying to help their mum with the shopping, even though they couldn't even reach up to the counter. It was nice. And then the other two, little shit spawns, were kicking and screaming and crying, even physically scratching at their own mother. It was horrible, right? And my customers, she'd given them 2 little bags of Haribo and said, thank you so much for being so well paid, here you go. And they skipped off and it was nice, right? And then the 2 other little cunts. They'd spotted this, they'd seen this transaction like 2 little diabetic hawks, right? Hang on a minute, we've been wanting sweets all day and they've got some and we haven't, that's not fair. And she turned to her own kids and went, yeah, well, life isn't fair. I could have had them and I got you. Which is amazing, isn't it? But I'll tell you, that's the kind of parent I want to do. It's been absolutely amazing. That's been my time. My name's Graham. I'm going to do a quick plug, if I may. I'm doing a live stream show every Wednesday at 10 PM. Graham was the comedy. It's called Booze at 10. It's basically a topical news show where comedians don't talk about the news and get drunk instead. So feel free to.
Where do we find that? Sorry. Where do we?
On my comedy page, it's Graham Wister Comedy. It's on YouTube and Facebook and stuff.
Sweet.
Cool. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. See you again. Good night. God bless.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Craic Heads.